Welcome to a special mid-afternoon edition of the Same Old Arsenal USA. I am joined, as always, by Stan the Man, Angry Glenn, and we got to come up with a nickname for Long-Winded Ryan.
Rambling Ryan.
Ramblin' Ryan, there it is. Yup, the Ramblin' Man himself. We got a lot to cover today. Good win at Southampton, or against Southampton, not out at Southampton on Saturday. Big, arguably the biggest game of the year for us up to this point tomorrow at home against West Ham. And the big breaking news today that Aubameyang has been stripped of the captaincy. You've got four Gunners ready to talk about it. Here we go. What's up, y'all? How we doing? You know who I am. I can never get it right the first time. That's Stan. That's Glenn. That's Ryan. Stan, we'll start with you. Mid-afternoon, man. Nice to see you when the sun's up. How we doing?
Yeah, good. Lunchtime here. So no beers at the minute. I just finished my tea and crumpets and ready to get going.
I like it. Glenn, yourself?
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Glenn from AFC New York. I have 2 new videos out this week on my YouTube channel, and I'm very happy to be here with the guys.
And last but certainly not least, the man that we have dubbed the Ramblin' Man.
I didn't say that.
And he's muted, which is even better.
Oh, yeah, I heard you guys fucking screaming, Ramblin' Ryan from the other room.
I like it, man. I think we're on to something here. We might have to change it up. Ramblin' Ryan. What's up? You good?
Yeah, good.
All right. Good. We're going to be quick. I like this. We're going to be with you for about an hour today, folks. It's not going to be the typical 2-hour program. I've got things to do tonight. So we'll start with the breaking news of the day. Aubameyang has been stripped of the captaincy. He is not available for selection tomorrow against West Ham. Glenn, I'll start with you.
I'm sorry this all went public. This isn't the Arsenal way. But I saw Arteta trying to deflect this in the post-game press conference, saying, "No, I want to talk about the game. This is about my players. They did a great job today. Blah blah blah." Hey, it happens. What do we have? About 24 hours to enjoy that Southampton game before this mess. I'll have more to say on that, but go ahead,
Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just go through my beer of the week right now.
You're drinking already. I like it.
I was for the beer of the week. So it was a big win, Southampton. They were terrible. I'm sure we'll get into that really quick, but they were really bad. But we still played well. Gotta give the boys credit. And I think it's something we've all been saying for a while. It's nothing against Aubameyang, but maybe it is. But he's not fit to wear the armband, and that's not because of him breaching some of the unmentionables and doing things he's been doing to upset Arteta in the club. But beer of the week is simple. Rainbows are real. So I think when you look at it, you have to look at the other side of the rainbow and how this is a good thing for us. Yeah, it's a bit of a rough patch. I'm sure Aubameyang's going to kind of be bitching and moaning. He might not play for us for a while. He may impact us in the short term, but if you look at the other side of the rainbow, it has a chance to put in a captain who is going to be with the project and who's part of the long-term project, and it'll set us up as a team, as a club, and really instill a culture that we've been desperately looking for. Having 11 captains in 14 years isn't great.
Yeah. Boy, that's a real damning number, by the way. 11 in 14 years. Holy shit.
Can I address that? Why
hang on. I mean, let's go around the horn here and get everybody's thoughts. All right. So write it down, Glenn. Write it down so you don't forget. That's what I do. When I come up with a question, I write it down. Stan, I want your thoughts on Aubameyang being stripped and all that, but then I want you to follow up with a question that I have for everybody. Should we be looking for the next long-term captain, or should we simply put in a stopgap and reevaluate the captaincy come the summer?
All right, let me answer the second question first, because it's a quicker answer for me. Regarding what we do now with the captain's armband, I think it should just go to Lacazette now until the end of the season. I think it's difficult to give it to somebody else while Lacazette is still at the club. We hear that he's quite motivational, he's quite a voice with the young players, so it would be a little bit offset if he wasn't the captain, but he's going to be leaving in the summer anyway. So then I just think that we go with Lacazette till then, and then we make a solid decision. We choose a captain and maybe one or two lieutenants to work with the captain in the summer. Now, going on to actually what's happened with Aubameyang, I don't think this is really a big surprise. I think that this has been on the cards now for a while. And I disagree with Glenn saying about it not being the Arsenal way about it coming out, simply because I think that it had to come out, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think that he hasn't embellished in it. The worst thing that could have happened is that he just came out and said that he had a sore stomach, and then it came out through other channels that it was more than that, and that he'd breached, whatever disciplinary things that they had, right? So it had to come out. It was much better that we hear the truth than we hear something that's a lie and it comes out through other mediums, and then as it snowballs around other places, it starts to pick up stuff to go along with it that's not even true. So you've got to get in front of it. I think the only thing that I'm worried about is that if we go over the top and we paint Aubameyang as a villain who is continually, breaking club rules, then are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot when it comes to moving on? And are we going to get lowballed on any offers coming in January where we can still maybe make a few quid on him? So I think we have to be careful of how we paint the picture, depending on how, if we're going to be moving him on. But I think that Mikel Arteta did the right thing. It's not the first time it's happened. The young players, we've got a lot of young players in this team, and we've also got a lot of new players that's just joined the club. And all of those eyes are watching a situation like this to see how it shakes out. Because the last thing you want is Mikel Arteta doesn't do anything, and in a season 2 down the road, when Aubameyang's not even at the club, let's say it's now Saka that's coming back late after a special dispensation, and he's going to be thinking, well, I couldn't get me flight now, but if they go heavy on me, I'll just be bringing up Aubameyang. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. So everyone's watching to see how this plays out, and I think that the club has done it the right way. If we had a case where he was banging them in all over the place, and he was like getting like hat tricks every now and again and 2 goals in a match, and he was on form, you can maybe turn a blind eye and you can dress it a different way. But I think that the whole reason that he's actually now had the armband stripped of him, I said yesterday, how this all ends will depend on how Aubameyang takes and deals with the punishment. And I've got a feeling that he didn't deal with it in the right way. Instead of coming in and holding his hands up and saying, yeah, I fucked up, we had problems travelling, this, that, and the other. I know, I'm the captain, sets a bad example, I'm going to keep me head down, I'm going to keep me head down and all that sort of stuff. Then I don't think the captaincy would have been taken away from him. But I've got a feeling that he probably responded badly, and that's why he's been stripped. And I've also got a feeling that he probably doesn't want to be at the club anyway. And what you're seeing are the actions of a person that doesn't want to be where they want to be. I've had plenty of jobs before that I didn't like. It got sour. I started getting up late, turning up late, taking longer lunches, leaving a bit early because I just didn't want to be in that place. But you know what it's like with footballers? It's very rare that they go in and demand a transfer. So they make it uncomfortable so that the club seems to be moving them on, which is ridiculous because we all know what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
I never know whether you're doing a dramatic pause or not. Are you done?
Go ahead. You wanted to say something.
You know what? You're right about the Arsenal way and this kind of stuff in the media stand. You convinced me because social media has really changed everything. So you're right on that point. I don't think it. Listen, guys. And Stan, I really want your thoughts on this. So maybe you want to write this down because I'm sick and fucking tired of it. The players decide who the captain is. They have fucked it up 3 times in a row now. Okay? Koscielny, Xhaka, Aubameyang. First of all, we need somebody in there. And if Conte came in and did all this shit, not everybody would be so up in arms as they are now. So my point is, it has to be players that are in there every game. So it's either Saliba or Ramsdale. That's it. That's the choices. And I don't want the players deciding it. I don't know. I've been arguing this for a year now. Stan, why the F do players get to decide who the captain is in the Premier League?
Glenn, we're talking about the captain of Arsenal, not Marseille. Just want to put that out there.
Koscielny was the fucking captain, then fucking Xhaka was, and now Aubameyang, who I'm not that mad at, and I don't want us to sell him, but if he goes, he goes. Okay. Why? Why do the players get to decide it?
I agree. I think it's a stupid decision because what happens next? They're going to start fucking choosing the tactics as well. Substitutes. Do you know what I mean? It should be the manager's responsibility. But a last point, I know that I said I'd have Lacazette to the end of the season, but then going after that, my choice would be Kieran Tierney as the club captain, and then I would have Gabriel and Ramsdale as deputies. I think that trio, yeah, or even, you know, Martin Odegaard, there's a good shout for him to be involved as well because he does captain a nation. But I do like the 3 players that I've said there. I think Kieran Tierney would be ideal for me. And then you have 2 lieutenants in case Tierney can't play, or rotation. And I think Gabriel and Ramsdale would be good deputies. I just don't want to see Ramsdale, as much as I love him, be that number 1 choice because I just don't like goalkeepers being the captain. I just think they're away from everything. They've got to keep running up the field to talk to the ref or something goes down and that, you know?
One other thing, we don't know all the facts because Aubameyang is scratched for the West Ham game too. So obviously something happened behind the scenes that we did not see because this should be all over with. Don't you think? And as far as Arteta goes, rookie manager, he's had to deal with players and he's had problem with some good players too. Saliba, Torreira, who I rate, Guendouzi, who I rate. You know, you're going to have problems like this. I'm just so frustrated that I got about 24 hours to enjoy that Southampton victory, which was so sweet.
So I've made this argument before when it comes to the players choosing the captain. You have to trust the players to not make the right decision, but to not play a popularity contest.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like some kind of high school vote, BG?
Well, I mean, but there is a shout for the players to choose the captain because what that says to me, and this is coming from a place of experience, when I've played a sport and choosing our captain was not who's my best friend on the team, it's who do I think is the best player to lead? Who am I going to follow? And honest to God, most of the time, it wasn't my best friend on the team. I don't think it ever was. But you have to trust the players to see the leadership and say, that's the guy that I'm going to follow into battle. That's the guy whose voice I want to hear when I need a foot shoved up my ass, you know, to get my rear end in gear. As the manager, you want to, if and this is just me, in my opinion, if I'm the coach of any sport where a captain is a big deal, like baseball is not a sport where you really see a captain very often. Basketball is not a sport where you see a captain very often. You see it in football, you see it in American football, and you see it in ice hockey. In ice hockey, it's different because if you go up and start screaming at the referee about something and you don't have a letter on your chest, you're getting a penalty. The only players allowed to talk to the officials, now, this is a very lax rule, but the only players allowed to even talk to the officials are the guys wearing the letters on their jersey. The C, the A, or the A. Captain, alternate. And again, hockey culture, most hockey teams, the players choose the captain. But if you don't trust the players to not hold a popularity contest, then do it yourself. And when it comes to, we all know who we think the captain should be. And we've all, at one point in time or another on this show, said Kieran Tierney's the man. Kieran Tierney's the guy. Go. Off you go. Right? He's the guy that's going to be the next captain of Arsenal Football Club. He's not available enough. The best ability is availability, and he doesn't have it in the way that he should. I agree 100% with Stan. It should be Lacazette because I think it steadies the ship. As far as Aubameyang goes, the discipline and everything, unfortunately, folks, we live in a world now where your freedoms no longer exist. The story that I heard was he was doing something for his mother. Travel was delayed for some reason because of, we all know why. And I'm sorry, my mother comes first.
That's not the whole story, but okay.
Well, I mean, I'm just from there, but then there's something about a tattoo, and I don't know the full story, and I really don't want to debate the full story.
I mean, you were right. A part you missed, which I don't know. I guess when you said we don't have freedoms anymore, it kind of irked me because I don't agree with that at all.
You have freedom if you kowtow to the New World Order, you'll have freedoms.
All right. Well, I'm not here debating that. Fuck, I don't care about that. He went to France. Didn't think of his mom. Fine, cool. Then he came late, and B, he went straight to training. Didn't follow any COVID protocols. What if he had COVID? What if he went to France, he got COVID, and then got the whole team sick? Then what? Like,
wait. Then we play the U23s because we know the Premier League isn't going to postpone our games like they did for Tottenham.
Very funny, but yeah, whatever.
No, I
did was 100% right.
I mean, if he didn't follow the COVID protocols, then okay, I get it, and I think it probably goes back to what Stan said. He probably didn't take it very well, right? Now,
real quick. Also, too, this isn't the only incident. If you listen to Arteta's press conference, he wouldn't say it, but you could tell, like, yeah, we've talked to him before. Like, he pretty much said we talked to him before. This isn't just the one. So, like, I'm not saying you, but like when people are like, oh, it's his mom, and I see people on Twitter, oh, but Willian did it. Willian went to Dubai and came back, and he started the next game against Leeds, and this is not his first time. I mean, does everyone not remember the North London derby? Come on, like, and I'm sure there's other things that have happened that we don't even know about, and to be fair too, and I know people always talk about how like, oh, everyone needs to be treated fairly, blah blah blah. He's a captain of Arsenal Football Club. He shouldn't be treated different. He should be treated differently. He should be held to a higher standard.
Should be held to a higher standard. Exactly.
So yeah, if fucking Willian did this, all right, like maybe he'll sit out a game, whatever. But he's a captain of Arsenal, so yeah, it was the right move. It's been a long time coming. Too many mistakes, and I don't know. We might be seeing the Dortmund, the end of Aubameyang's Dortmund career coming to a head right now. So see.
The thing that makes me think that Abba doesn't want to leave he's in the 3-person clique. They are like the best of friends. It's him, Laka, and Pepe. You don't get to play professional sports with your best mates a lot. And I'm not convinced he wants to leave Arsenal. I'm not.
I'm sure he had best mates at Dortmund as well when he was there.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Pretty tight with Pulisic when he was there. I know that.
I do think that this situation with Aubameyang, it really reinforces in my mind something that I said months and months ago, and that is that whatever rebuild is happening at Arsenal, or wherever it is that we want to get to, it's never going to materialise fully until every player that was playing in the first squad when Arsene Wenger was here has left the club. We're never, I honestly believe it, we're never going to be 100% where we want to get to until all of those players are no longer at the club. That's Elneny, Holding, Chambers, Aubameyang, Lacazette. And then you can throw Pepe in there as well as someone that's not performing and that needs to go. Kolasinac as well. They all need to be gone from the club.
So
Can I go back, because a lot of you guys want Lacazette as captain? Do you see him as that guy that's going to be yelling at his teammates and picking them up if we're down 1-0?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen him do it on the pitch already.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just asking. That's all.
Well, I mean, there really is no other choice. I mean, because I agree with Stan. I think you have to make this decision to the end of the season. Lacazette's the guy. I think, the leadership thing is kind of what we've been doing. Do I agree with it? Maybe not so much, but you can't just because I actually heard rumors that the new captain is going to be Odegaard.
I saw that too.
But I think he's I would say he's the front runner.
Because from the next game, that could be Odegaard.
No, I think just in general, the new club captain. So what I'm thinking is you ride this out. You ride out this leadership group until the end of the season, because I mean Holding's kind of different, but Lacazette's not going to be here much longer. Xhaka's not going to be here much longer. You can't ride this leadership group wave. We need to. I mean, the best way I can describe it would just be how every band has the front man, and it's usually the lead singer, but we need a front man, and I think this leadership group hasn't done well for us in the past, and I like my friend John said, we got to be very careful with it, obviously, but we need a front man. Is Odegaard the guy? I mean, who's the guy? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think it's Tierney. I wanted it to be for so long. I mean, he's fighting for his spot, let alone, to be the captain of this club. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out till the end of the season.
Don't you guys want a captain that plays every game? Laka's not going to play every game. I say, arguably, Gabriel, our arguably player of the season so far, should be captain.
I mean,
but what's his communication like? How's his English?
Oh, I don't know.
The thing, right?
I don't know. Good question. Stan always going an extra layer deeper. I love it. I don't know.
I think the thing is as well, it's not like he speaks Spanish. He's Portuguese, right, from Brazil. So only Martinelli really can understand it. But I like Gabriel, but I'm not sure. Maybe he speaks better English than I'm aware of. But that's the only sticking point for me. Is you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think it's also very tough to just throw in a captain that hasn't had the armband yet. I think we're in kind of a weird period. Our form's been kind of bad. We had a good win against Southampton, fine. We're not playing very well besides that, and all this shit. You're just gonna just throw in a random person, if you're just gonna make Odegaard a random captain. It doesn't make any sense. To me, you lean on what got you here. Lacazette, I think it's a great captain. I think he's been a professional. And it's funny, I say the word professional. Professional's been thrown around today quite a bit on Twitter, but I won't get into that. But I think Lacazette's been a really good professional, and I think he's someone that could really bring us to the end of the season in a positive light. And I think to an extent, Holding too. Yeah,
it's a rule, but I believe it's a rule.
I agree with it, but you need it. Yeah, you have to have somebody. We actually, I think it was I think it was once Koscielny kind of started throwing up his hissy fit of his own. We didn't name a captain in the second half of a game, and we got fined. We got in trouble. We had a lot of trouble. Yeah. I don't say a lot of trouble. We got in trouble. But yeah, I see people we shouldn't name a captain.
And I like the idea, but I think just because of the rule, you have to name.
No, I don't. You fuck the rule. Even without the rule, you need someone. You need a face. You need someone to lead this team.
But if you don't, but you can't manufacture that.
Well, yeah, but Aubameyang hasn't been the only person to wear the armband for us. We have other.
But what I'm saying is you can't just go willy-nilly into the dressing room, 15 minutes before we're going to walk out onto the pitch for a match, tomorrow and be like,
That's why having no captain is absolutely stupid.
Robin Williams at Hook, he's going to take the armband like he did with his sword, and he's going to be. No,
I think you'll find it's going to be Lacazette with the armband, and if he gets substituted at any part in the game or gets injured, and Xhaka's on the field, then the armband will get passed to Xhaka.
Yeah.
Which also too, what I thought was very interesting, when Lacazette came off against Southampton, Holding was on, and Xhaka were both on. The armband went to Holding. So
I think it's a thing where Jacques is a bit of a last resort to take the armband. So there is some awareness, if you will, of how the fan base generally feel about Granit Xhaka being the captain. It's bad enough that he's on the pitch, but we're gonna make him the captain too. So yeah, nice little segue there talking about Southampton. I mean, look, I'll keep it quick. It's a good win. It's a clean sheet. It's 3 goals. The goals, especially the first one, looked good. I think we really need to see what it is, and it's a really bad Southampton team. So I will take the win. I will take 3 goals. I will take a clean sheet. I'm happy, but I'm not setting off fireworks in my backyard and throwing a fucking party because we beat a Southampton team that was without it easily 4 or 5 of its starters in that game of its regulars. So I think this is a game that I see we did what we should have done. You take it and you move on. You say, okay, good job, on to the next. We're not going to celebrate this like we just won a trophy because it's not that. It's not that at all. It's 3 points against a really bad team. We handled our business. We did our job. On we go to West Ham tomorrow. Stan, talk to me about Southampton.
I was really pleased with Martin Odegaard. Three goals now in 3 games.
Yes.
And if you remember when a few weeks ago we were talking about players' deployments and formations, I was going on that I think that his best position is the position that he's playing now and where he's starting to produce. So I'm really pleased, and I think that he's going to continue to be really influential for Arsenal playing in that role. And we're still able to get ESR into the team as well when he comes back fit as well. So it doesn't really upset the apple cart. And if we do need to do a little bit of rotation and give Odegaard a rest, I could see Emil Smith-Rowe fitting into that space nicely as well. But we took care of business. We didn't come out feeling sorry for ourselves. And obviously the talking point again was that Aubameyang wasn't playing, and we didn't miss him. Mm-hmm. We didn't miss him. So I was quite pleased with that performance. We got our points. We kept a clean sheet. We had 5 shots on target, of which 3 of them went in. Happy days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm absolutely thrilled with that game in so many ways. Yes, BG, I see it as Southampton, but hey, they're going to be a relegation team this year, and we've lost to teams that are not even close to us before or drawn. To look back at the game, Martinelli, that little fire engine. As Stan said, Odegaard, 3 goals in 3 games. Ramsdale, 61% possession. I said this stat, I think it was on Bergkamp Wonderland pregame. Okay, if you just counted the first half this year, Southampton would be 4th in the table. So I knew they were going to come out flying, and they did, and we weathered it. All I see are positives coming out of that game. Arteta making changes at halftime that worked nicely. I am thrilled, and I can't wait to put this Aubameyang thing behind us, whether he's sold in January or comes back and acts like a man instead of whatever he did to get himself suspended from the West Ham game.
Ryan.
So it's funny. It's like I grabbed my notes. I'm looking through my notes right now. I actually took more notes on Southampton than us. I wrote more things down about Southampton than I did us. I mean, yeah, we won. Clean sheet, 3 points, 3-0. That's a lot of goals for us. 3 goals. Southampton were so bad. I don't think people realize how bad they were. Probably the worst team we played all season. That includes Norwich. I would even throw like a West Brom in there in the cup game. They were bad. They're one of the pressiest teams in the Premier League. They don't press very well though. They have their 2 strikers. Press. All we have to do is beat the 2 strikers, and we're home free. And we did that pretty easily because those weren't even their normal 2 strikers. So I wrote this down a few times, but I was like, are they playing foosball? because they were just in they were just in lines. They were like literally in lines. They weren't breaking any structure. They were so easy to to get past. And with their two strikers pressing so hard, our midfielders had so much space. I was like, oh, this is a perfect game for Xhaka. This is going to be Xhaka's game. He was the worst player on the pitch. Shocker. No, not really. He was terrible. He was bad. And I actually talked to Tanner right after the game. Now I was like, I didn't think he was that good, but I didn't look at social media, and like I don't want my bias to like affect anything because he's just a shit player, and I don't want to come out with that and be like, oh, he's good, because he did have a lot of space. Partey had a lot of space. I go back, I watch the game. No, he was bad. He lost the ball. What is it? He lost the ball 12 times in the first half. It's pretty outstanding, to be honest. And Southampton are not their strikers press. I mean, the rest of them kind of press, but it's really their two strikers that do all the pressing for them. So with all that space, they're not a quick team. They don't have their whole midfielder wasn't in. So it was a little upsetting to see him play so bad because I think he's going to play against West Ham. So it's definitely I'm not happy about that, and people on Twitter want to give him the armband. Anyways, but yeah, what we had good ball movement in our final third, which is I think something that we're slowly getting better at, and playing a team like Southampton likes to press and play in those like very strict lines, gave us a real easy time with that, and I think it's something to definitely build on because West Ham is going to be really tough. Shout out to Martinelli. I agree with Glenn. He was a little fire engine, and he was all over the place. I did notice too early on in the second half, him and Lacazette switched. Laka was a left winger and Martinelli was striker. So I wonder if that's going to be a future thing. But all in all, a good win, and hopefully we could build on it because West Ham is not going to play like Southampton. It's not going to be that easy.
10-second reply, because I'm going mad listening to you guys talk about how easy Southampton was to beat. There are no easy games in the Premier League.
Glad they were terrible.
And another stat that I can bring up, I can't remember my wife's birthday, but I remember dumb shit like this. And not going into that Arsenal game, 9 of Southampton's last 12 away games, they had a draw. So there's no easy games in the Premier League. That was longer than 10 seconds. I'm sorry.
I don't care. It's all good.
Were they missing their whole team then, Glenn? I don't remember.
I mean, you're both right. Two things, two points can.
I don't think Glenn's right.
Simultaneously, there aren't any. Look, I mean, he's right. There aren't any because look, we've seen bad teams play well against the best teams. I mean, it happens. So on a day. On their day, Southampton probably could have come in there and gotten a result against us. It would not have shocked me, but they were bad. They were very, very bad.
I was gonna say this really quick. I said this to Tanner earlier, but watching them play was like watching us play last season or last 2 seasons ago. They're the mirror of us. Caballero could not Caballero, I think it's that right. Can't command the box. Leno could not command the box. They're holding the midfielders very static, no movement. Hard midfielders very static, no movement, no athleticism. Like they literally were us. We're just getting. And honestly, I got to give the team credit, and I got Arsenal credit, and I'll even sprinkle a little Arteta credit there too, because watching them play was like, oh my god, this was us. And then you watch us play, like, okay, well, we definitely got better. Like, if people want to throw stats out there, people are like, "Oh, get Arteta out of here," whatever. We are getting again. I don't know if I don't know if Arteta's the guy. I go back and forth every day. You guys all know this, but again, there's progress. Whether it's him, whether it's the players, there's something there. And watching Southampton play, I was like, "Holy shit, this is us." Caballero is Leno. Then midfielders are Xhaka and Partey. Their defense kind of reminded me of our old back four of like Bellerin and Mustafi, Kolasinac, like all those guys. They just reminded me of each other. But I think that's something very interesting because, yeah, we got progress. And one more thing, the Ramsdale slide when we scored that goal. You love to see that emotion from players not near the play. I'm excited. I'm excited that these players have emotion, and hopefully, kind of quickly going back to the captaincy, hopefully that'll transition over and creating a culture for this club, and picking the right captain is absolutely vital for that.
Go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
I said earlier that we had 5 shots on target. Southampton had 6 shots on target.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Ray makes a good point. Everton, they're a pretty bad team. We lost to them. The bottom line,
Everton has good play. Like Everton has with Charleston. Everton has they had players that could change games. Southampton had to sign an emergency goalkeeper to play against us.
It's the last part of this.
Different.
It's the last part of this comment, though. You need to perform to get 3 points, and we performed. We did.
Yeah.
So I think
because we know how to play against we know how to play against ourselves. So
right. We saw what we were. We're like, okay, we can.
Yeah, this is us. This is us 2 seasons ago. Like we can beat these guys.
But yeah, it's not. I just that's a win that I don't. Glenn, you said it best, and I'm not saying that you were, rah shish boom boss celebrating and throwing a fucking party over beating Southampton, but like celebrating the win. It's like, okay, we did what we were supposed to do. Like, yeah, it's like 3 points. All right. We're still hanging around the goal right now. Like, okay, a couple of bad performances, losing 3 out of 4, 2 real bad performances against United and Everton, follow it up. And it's kind of funny how that works. It's like, it's almost like just what the doctor ordered, right? We needed a bad team to come in here and we needed to throttle them. And we did. And I think that's big going into tomorrow. Because if we would have only beaten Southampton by a goal, be it 1-0, it's like, okay, you got the clean sheet, but you couldn't score. Or if you beat them 2-1, it's like, yeah, okay, you scored 2, but you conceded against a bad team. Like, how do you do that? 3-0 is comprehensive against a bad team. Would I have liked to see 4 or 5? Of course, I would have loved to have seen 6 or 7. Beggars can't be choosers, and I don't want to be greedy. But I think this should build some confidence going into tomorrow, because I think we need some confidence going into tomorrow, because I don't think the magnitude of this game can be understated. They are our direct competition for a Champions League place. Do I think we can finish 4th? Yes, I do. But I don't think we can do it on our own merit. I think we would need a lot of help elsewhere. But I think we can hang around in the conversation. This game is our direct competition for that. We win, we go above them into 4th. United apparently don't play. Apparently their game got postponed now too. As far as so we win tomorrow against a good West Ham side. And a lot of people have a problem saying that. This West Ham team is good. They are not your grandfather's West Ham. They are not your father's West Ham. They are David Moyes' West Ham, and there's something in it. Just fuck around and find out. That should be West Ham's motto this season. Fuck around and find out. But
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, one of the best. We forget previous results this year. Manchester City, one of the best teams in the world, if not the best, lost to Crystal Palace. There's no easy games in the Premier League. And as far as West Ham, I agree with everything you said, BG.
I mean, I don't need you guys to necessarily go on the rant that I just did, but what are your thoughts? And Stan, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts going into tomorrow? What do you want to see? Talk to me.
Well, West Ham, they're kind of like the little engine that couldn't they? They're really. I mean, if you want to look at team performances, then I think West Ham is a good example. They don't have really big standout players in there, but as a team, they all seem to be working together. They all seem to be listening to what it is that the manager's telling them and believing in it. And they are where they are because they've lost less football matches than we have. That's the hard facts. They have lost less games than Arsenal. So you're right. I mean, at the moment, you could say that they are our direct competition. And it's crazy that almost every game now we keep on going, this is a big game. This is probably our biggest. But it does seem like that all of the time. And you can't understate this one enough. As you say, BG, we beat them. We're in fourth. And then it's up to us then to try and hold that position or do better.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I don't use the word statement game a lot because then it loses its effect. But to me, this feels like a statement game.
This absolutely feels like a statement game. Sorry, Stan. Go ahead.
And it's going to be really important that the players forget everything that's going on in and around the outside, and the team that is selected goes out there and plays.
Still have a job to do. There's a lot of outside noise right now, and just real quick to kind of circle back to the captaincy thing. We're a team of youngsters. As Ryan likes to point out, we're the youngest team, youngest average age in the Premier League. So I think for right now, getting the captain correct, and with as young as we are, but with some of the veterans that we have in the side, the senior players that we have in the side, it's important to sort of bridge that gap. And I feel like Lacazette does that. And I think tomorrow it's going to be very important for the captain to step up to the plate and reel everybody's emotions back in. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of noise. And Aubameyang is a popular player, right? I mean, he is well liked in the dressing room by just about everyone. I've never heard that anyone has had a personal problem with him in terms of somethers. So,
and he's also friendly with all the fans, BG. He's on social media.
So, but this is something that the players are going to have to put on the back burner, and you have a job to do. And I think Lacazette can bridge that gap for them and help get their mind focused on the job at hand. So, Ryan, go ahead.
I'm actually, the more I was listening to Stan speaking about the game, and the more I think about it, I'm very nervous about this game. I mean, yeah, it's normal West Ham, but I'm more nervous now after Aubameyang was stripped because now it's, you have to play some of your veterans. You have to play some of the guys, that can help lead this team. That is Lacazette. That is Granit Xhaka. Lacazette, I'm not too worried about. I think he could definitely do a job for us. I think he played well against Southampton. But, having Aubameyang stripped of captaincy kind of means that Granit Xhaka is going to be in our 11 for a while now, and I don't see him moving because I think Arteta is kind of leaning a little bit on the leadership, and he's leaning more on some senior players stepping up and helping us grow as a team. And that means, Granit Xhaka probably being in our midfield for the foreseeable future. And if Xhaka's in our midfield against West Ham, I'm not very optimistic about our chances against them.
Do you think Arteta is going to pick a different team tomorrow than he did in the last game? I don't. I think it's going to be the same.
What was it? It was Martinelli. Who was the wingers?
If ESR is unable to play, I think it'll be the same.
I'd like the same except Lokanga instead of Xhaka.
I mean, yeah, me too. But like I said, with Aubameyang stripped, I can't see Xhaka leaving the 11 anytime soon. I think with this, I think Arteta is going to focus a little bit more on leadership, a little bit more on, putting a few veteran faces out there just to kind of help the team grow, help lead the team, help the team grow as far as, with the veterans or the senior players. For that matter, because it's going to be interesting, and I think we do need the leadership. It's very important, but I don't know, man. Putting Xhaka back there against a team that we have to really beat, and it's a statement game, like you said, and Xhaka should never be part of the statement that we're trying to make because he's not going to be part of this much longer. Neither is Lacazette, but I think at least Lacazette is really helping the youngsters out. He's playing a very vital role. That that 9.5 role that we really haven't seen anyone else play for us. And I think it's important for him, but I don't know. I'm more nervous the more I talk about it.
You're making me nervous at saying that Laka's going to leave. I hope you're wrong
You
about
think he's
that.
staying? You think he's leaving on a free at the end of the season? There's no way he's staying.
Well, we've
But
got
he hasn't
four
said he's
sort of
leaving.
club strikers, and it seems that 3 of the 4 have got their foot out of the door. Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Eddie all seem like they've got 1 foot out the door. The only one left is Balogun.
I am not going to invent thought bubbles over Lacazette's head. All right, he has not said he wants to leave. He just hasn't signed a contract.
Glenn, he didn't sign the extension last summer. We offered an extension.
He had said he wanted to leave. He said that he's
No.
looking forward to a next beautiful project. What is that? That says he wants to go somewhere else, right?
How long ago did he say that? I mean,
A couple of weeks ago.
I can't do 2 things at the same time. I can't go on my phone and look up what you guys are saying. All right, if he said that, F it. I don't know what to say. I didn't know he said that.
Glenn, you're so funny. Actually, funny enough, you remind me of my friend John in the chat where
And his agent shopping him around like a brass in Soho.
Yeah. So Glenn, you remind me of my friend John in the chat. So shout out to John. But like I'll be talking about Arsenal. And like he'll like be very, very like this is the thing. Like Lacazette's not leaving. Who said this? And I'll bring up a very good point, and I'll be like, he'll like look around. Where did you see that? Yeah, all right. Like and he all of a sudden he's flustered. And he doesn't know what to say because it's like you got me there.
As soon as we get off, I'm looking it up because I think you guys are just at this big plan to drive me insane. I really do. So that's the first thing.
Finally catching on.
I don't care what my wife has for me to do when the show ends. I got to look up Lacazette.
We've been rumbled.
We can only go about an hour today, and I kind of feel like this is a natural end point, but it's nice though because still have a few minutes left, and we're gonna get in some good final words here. And Glenn, I'll start with you.
I think the next selection of captain is extremely important. I hope. I swear, if Arteta makes the decision himself, I'll get off the fence and I'll support him because that's what we got to do. We got to take it away from the players. Koscielny, Xhaka, Auba, no more. It's manager. You decide it, Mr. Arteta. You. Tomorrow's a statement game. I'd like to see the same lineup as last game, except Xhaka out, Lakanga in. And we're slight favorites, and that's the way I feel. I'm slightly confident.
Fair.
Ryan,
Ryan,
favorites? Are we really the slight favorites?
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that. But
Oh my God! All right, why don't you just shoot down everything I say, Ryan?
I just had a simple question. I'll check my betting app. We'll see. Yeah, I'm nervous because Xhaka's gonna play and he's gonna do one. He's gonna get a red card. You heard it here first. Although I'm not really saying breaking news here, but no. Yeah, I'm going to echo what Glenn says. I think, choosing the next captain is vital. The more I think about it, I really like to see my 2, which kind of surprising that I'm actually saying this, but I would like to see our next 2 captains be Odegaard and Lakanga. I think they are very vital in the spine of our team. And I think they're Odegaard's the leader of Norway. He's a captain there, and that's a big deal. They have Holland. They have other players that can really make their mark. They have Josh King, who he could be a captain. He's an older senior striker. I think Odegaard's a good choice. When I first heard the rumors of it, I was like, I don't know about that. He's competing with ESR. But if he really wants to come into his own, he really wants to make a stamp on this club. I keep going back to Stan really talking him up when we were about to get him on loan, and I was like, yeah, like there was a lot of talk around him when he had his whole documentary, but I don't know. And then when he came to the club on loan, I was like, yeah, he had good games, he had bad games, but I think he could really evolve into a special player here, and I would love to see him as captain. And then you look at Lakanga, who was the captain of Anderlecht, the big team in Belgium, at 20 years old, and that's nothing to scoff at. So I'm excited about that. And I think Lakanga is going to be one of those players where, he's going to be, I don't want to, this is jumping the gun. I'm thinking, very scatterbrained right now, but I want him to be kind of like the next Santi Cazorla in the fact that he can retain the ball And when the team sees it, he retains the ball. Okay, we can attack now. Not we got to make sure he can get out of danger. We got to make sure he can dribble out of danger. Make sure no, we want him to retain the ball and be confident. Be confident in the dribble, be confident in the pass, make moves. Because he's athletic, but he could pass, he could dribble. You want our team to be confident. And I think, with a leader that he is, I think if he could just kind of, get, his legs under him and kind of really come into his own, because I think he's getting there, but he's not there yet. And get the confidence of the team. I think he also would be a fantastic leader. And also too, I quickly wanted to shout out Ben White. I think he would also be a great choice. I just don't know how. I don't know if he's ever. I don't know. So people can correct me in the chat. I don't know if he's ever been a captain. So I don't know how he would feel about being the captain of Arsenal. But he's definitely someone that I like because he's a player in this. He's a center back. Center backs are like, I feel like, in my opinion, natural born leaders like that. They just have captain written all over it for me. And he's someone that carries the ball. He's a better David Luiz. And David Luiz, let's be honest, he was a good leader on the pitch for us. So I would maybe, even if I'm Arteta, talk to Ben White, sit him down, see what his thoughts are about becoming the next captain of Arsenal, and go from there.
Stan, and shout out the chat while you're at it for me. They've been very active today.
I have seen a couple of names that I've not noticed before. Like David Chumley came in and joined us. Usuals like Tony Turner, BX Gunner, 81. I think Really was in there. Stay Fresh is in there, and also Rade. I can't say your last name, Rade. I've tried many times, but I'm going to do it. Rade Kostadinoski. I remember. Thanks for coming in and joining us. Really, I mentioned as well. But for me, I Grow, another name that I've not seen before. Thanks for coming in. And also John Ladavivia. With our captain's armband, it's a bit of a poison chalice, isn't it? I don't know if any player actually would put themselves forward to actually want it. I think it's going to be thrust upon somebody and they're just going to have to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? But I also think that I'm looking forward to watching this documentary now at the end of the season.
Yeah, me too.
Cannot wait.
I was just thinking that.
Can't wait. I mean, it's all happening, isn't it? I mean, there's two of these documentaries that I can't wait to see now. It's the Arsenal one, and obviously now Drives to Survive, the Formula One thing, because it all happened on there as well. I mean, 2021 is not going out with a whimper, and it's almost over. So, I mean, put your seatbelts on. Who knows what else is going to happen between now and New Year's? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Stan, thanks for telling me about that fantastic Wenger documentary that I can't find anywhere. I'm dying to watch.
That's a weird one, man. I don't know why it's gone all of a sudden. But
yeah, it was up on YouTube. It's been taken down, but I think if you try Amazon Prime or Google Play, you might be able to get it, but it might cost a couple of quid to rent.
I would buy it.
There you go.
Yeah. See, we did it. We did it with time to spare, fellas. Look at that. We did it with time to spare.
Well, what are your final thoughts, BG?
The captain, like I said earlier, I give it to Lacazette for till the end of the season. There has to be a hierarchy because you just don't know that Lacazette's going to play every game. So there has to be a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. So I like that there is a hierarchy of captains, just like there is in hockey. You've got a captain and you have two alternates, right?
I think the only bad thing, though, is Holding and Xhaka should not be in our 11. So really, you're relying on Lacazette. And if you don't start, then what?
Well, I mean, you know what? I mean, you guys all made good. We've made good shouts for Ben White. I don't know. This is going to sound awful, but I don't know what is the predominant language that's being spoken in training. That's being spoken during a game. Is it English?
It's got to be.
I don't know.
What else?
I would think. How good is Gabriel's English?
I think it's passable. To lead the team, I don't know.
That's to communicate
like soccer lingo, or football lingo, like while the game's going on. I think he's fine.
If that isn't a hang up, then I like the shout for Gabriel. I like the shout for Ben White. I like the shout for Martin Odegaard. He is a captain, and I know that some people have said, "Oh, he's the captain of his country. That's different for the club." Okay, maybe it is, but Saka, ESR don't strike me as captain material. I don't want Granit Xhaka to have it. Thomas Partey doesn't strike me as captain material.
See, I don't think Ben White doesn't strike me as captain material.
He doesn't. Here's the thing with Ben White. It doesn't strike me as it right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me that way right now. But the thing is with this team, and not to get ahead of myself, but this young group of players, this young core, come the summer. I mean, if they can do it now, because there's an opportunity here to take ownership of your club. You pull on the Arsenal shirt, match in, match out. Take ownership of the badge and step up to the plate now and grab this thing by the horns and let's go. Right? It's the youth movement. Let's go with that. And let the youth drive this team forward. Kieran Tierney seems to be the natural selection, but he just can't stay healthy. So Lacazette.
It's so funny. Real quick, Dan. This is going to sound crazy, but to me, since joining Arsenal, I don't think Kieran Tierney's captain material. I just don't. If I had known that he was the captain of Celtic and done all these things for Celtic, I would have been like, "You want him to be captain? What do you mean?" Like I don't see him being a captain. Like since joining Arsenal, just if you talk about his Arsenal career here, I don't see it.
I think that's down to injury. So
yeah, it could be. It very well could be.
Ryan,
I think as well.
Go ahead, Stan.
Go on.
I just want to say, Ryan, I respect your opinion on younger players, but I think you're crazy on Tierney. I think you're in a minority of Arsenal fans.
Again, it's because of his accolades at Celtic. Why everyone wants to. It's why I wanted him to be captain. I want to be captain because of all the good things you hear from Celtic fans, all the things he did for Celtic. I get that, but since joining Arsenal, Tanner could be completely right. Could be just injury related, and that's fine. But if you notice, he hasn't worn the band since joining Arsenal.
That's true.
Done.
Stan, you wanted to say something real quick, and then I'm going to finish my final word. And we're going to get out.
I just wanted to say you got to think as well when you're selecting a captain, as well as the dressing room and on the pitch. Who is it that you want to wheel out in front of the media with a message to the fans or whatever about what's happening at Arsenal? If things are going on, if there's any PR, if there's any launches of initiatives, charities that they're getting involved in, new kit launches, all of that sort of stuff. Who is it that you want to be out there who can talk clearly to the public and get that message out? And I think if you see some interviews of Kieran Tierney, the ones that he's had, he's a good talker as well. He's a bright lad and he talks very concisely. Ramsdale, again, probably wouldn't have many problems with him doing it as well. Gabriel, that's the area where I think, to send him out to actually speaking long paragraphs about Arsenal and put a message out there, I'm not so sure.
That's another good point. There's a bit of PR that goes into being the captain. You have to do a bit of PR when you're the captain of a football club. So there's not just the on the pitch, the leadership there. There's the media responsibilities and look, that's another thing too. As the captain, you have to almost want that spotlight to be on you. And maybe you don't, but you realize. And I'm going to use an example here, and I know Ryan and Glenn are going to give me a bag of shit about it. But they take him on their team in a heartbeat. Sorry, Stan, you're not going to get this one, but Sidney Crosby is the captain of the Penguins.
Fuck off.
And I can tell you that he does not like the media responsibility. That's not his thing, but he gets that responsibility comes with being the captain of the team. And I don't want to say that he embraces it, but he does it every single game. There's a camera and a microphone in his face, and he's talking to the media. And I can tell you he does not like that. He does not like it. But it's part of the job. So somebody here, you're going to do that like Stan. It's part of the job. Aubameyang has not been good at that. Granit Xhaka, has never been good at that. So as for tomorrow, I completely agree with everything that Glenn, you said. It's a statement game. I love the way that you put that. It is a statement game. It's a measuring stick. Who would have ever thought that Arsenal would say about West Ham that a West Ham match is a measuring stick for Arsenal Football Club? but it is.
There we are.
It is, but it is. And we're gonna see what sort of mental fortitude we have, what sort of testicular fortitude we have. What sort of testicular fortitude we have tomorrow going up against a team that may very well come in here and run us over. I'm very nervous about tomorrow. And this is a game where we could look at it and just be like, you know what? At the end of it, just, we're just not there yet. Just not there yet. So,
I would think that West Ham fans would think the way you're thinking about them, BG.
I don't know, man. I mean, they are the definition right now. Them and Liverpool are the two clubs that, if you want the team example of a club that play as a team, and they are all on board with what their manager is telling them to do, West Ham, Liverpool. Chelsea and City rely on their vast talent to take them through, but Liverpool, West Ham, those are teams. And they know, they come at you 11 at a time, and it's 11 at a time for 90 minutes unless they do something stupid and get someone sent off. So
one last thing, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the show. Last year at this time, I couldn't even look at the table without soiling myself. This year, I'm looking at us in a top 5 battle. I'm happy and I'm confident.
I like it. I like the confidence, man. Somebody out there's got to have it. I'm not.
So what's your prediction then?
But I'm not.
Well, I didn't make a prediction. 2-1 Arsenal.
Go ahead, Stan.
Draw.
Ryan.
1-1.
Wish I were that confident.
What is it?
Yeah,
3-1 West Ham.
Oh,
yeah. I want to say 2-1, but I think Gabriel is going to be quite the match for Antonio, and I think we'll be able to hold him off for a little bit.
I hope so. I hope so. Like I said, I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But
I'm telling you right now, BG, no matter what happens, I'm using a clip of you saying Arsenal are going to lose 3-1 in my next video after this game.
What? I've never appeared in any of your videos.
And real quick, Ryan, yes, we are slight favorites tomorrow. I looked it up on FanDuel. We're slight favorites. So.
I'm fucking.
All right.
And Ryan,
would that be bad if I bet West Ham?
I got to go. We got to go. That's it for us. We will be back. I don't know. Yeah. This was fun. Maybe we look at this in the future, doing it at this time. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Good footy talk. We'll see you out there.
Bye-bye.